I know we've only known each other for 4 weeks and 3 days, but to me, it seems like 9 weeks and 5 days.
All right. Welcome, all my passionate plant people and garden enthusiasts to the Sunday edition of the Let's Get Growing show here on the Urban Gardener channel. So great to have all of you here with us today. We've got a great show ahead for you coming up here. We've got John Kohler. That's right, our good friend John Kohler from Growing Your Greens joining us here just a little bit later on in the show for our feature conversation. It's gonna be fun to catch up with John. Plus another special appearance, surprise appearance coming up as well too. And yeah, going to be a great fun show ahead for you here. We also got our good friend David from Bowtie Life in the garden with us here in just a few minutes. That's right. And also, if you can, everybody here right at the top of the show, let's go ahead and let's click that thumbs up, hit the like button there, as well as subscribe and hit the bell notification to be notified of all of our upcoming live streams here on the Let's Get Growing show, as well as share with all of your garden friends out there and let them know about our fun gardening conversations with all sorts of great garden creators and communicators, authors, and all sorts of great fun folks from around the gardening community here with us every Saturday and Sunday at 11 a.m. Pacific and 2 p.m. Eastern time as well. So definitely come and join with us. Let all of your garden friends know. And let's have a big, huge shout out to all those folks who are joining us on the replay as well, too. Thank you so much for coming and joining with us on your time. It's always great to have you here with us. Definitely let us know you're here. Drop into our comments section below and let us know where you're growing from, what you got growing on. How's that garden growing this year? Love to hear all about all the things happening out there in the garden spaces. Right down in the comments section below as well. You can just drop by and say hi, and love to hear from all of you for sure. So definitely do that. And if you're here with us live, jump in and join in on a conversation there in our chat. We've got roll call coming up, just like all of our replay watchers. Jump into the chat right now and let us know where you're growing from, what you got growing on. Tell us all about what's happening out in your garden there for our roll call coming up. And as well, too, if you have any questions or comments and all of that, especially questions for our guests coming up here in just a little bit on the show, definitely drop those into the chat and we'll feature those throughout the show as well, too. Follow all of the links down below in the description to our guests and go show them some support. Go over and check out what they've got growing on. Hit up one of their posts or videos or something like that and drop them a comment in their comment section and let them know that you saw them right here on the Let's Get Growing show for sure. So love it when you guys do that. It's really just a great way to support the show, as I always say. Those free things that we can do, those likes, those comments, all of that sort of stuff helps us get seen throughout the algorithm as it is. But definitely do that for our guests as well too, because like I said, it's really awesome that they come and spend their time here and hang out with us and have all these really fun gardening conversations and everything too. So it's really awesome to be able to go and support them as well. So thank you everybody for doing that. And we had lots and lots of great things. Did you get a chance to check out the show yesterday? We had I wasn't here. I took the day off. It was the 4th of July. That's right, 4th of July, 250th 4th of July here in the US of A. And we were all out celebrating. I was having a fun day out with family and a bunch of other things too. We got to go see our local fireworks, which is the last year they're going to be doing that as far as the fireworks are concerned. They're going to change it over to a really fun drone show this next year. So we got out to go see the final one out in our the big one for our community here in Southern Oregon. So it was really fun. It was great to get out with everybody and have a great time and to celebrate the 250th and our final fireworks show. I'm really kind of excited to see about the drone shows. I've seen some of these other ones online and what they're capable of doing and putting together as far as the images and the things that they're able to do with these things. It's going to be really, really interesting to see this next year. So I'm kind of excited about that. But it was a really fun day for myself here yesterday on my day off away from the show here. So we had a JBot takeover yesterday. That's right. Our facilitator, Jay Dixon, took over the show for us. Really awesome that she does that every now and then when I give me a day off here to go and do some things. And she had with us yesterday Joe from Muddy Puddles Farm joining in on the conversation there. They had a really great discussion. So if you didn't get a chance to check out the J-Bot and Joe from Muddy Puddles Farm and their conversation yesterday, go back and check out that show for sure, definitely. But yeah, it's great to be back. Great to be here with all of you. Like I said, we've got John coming up here a little bit later on in the show. And yeah, so lots growing on here as well, too. Starting to warm back up around here. Still not as hot as it usually gets this time of year, but nice and warm. Been trying to just make sure everything's being maintained out there in the garden and keep these plants striving and thriving throughout some of the heat as it's coming through here. I know that a lot of you out there who are more in the Midwest and East Coast are really, I think we traded off on the heat, which is, I guess, I don't know, okay with me in some senses, but I'm sure that some of you folks over there are really getting hammered with some really high temperatures. So if you've got a garden in one of these heat waves, I hope everything is going well. Just keep them nice and watered. Make sure that they're, they got plenty to drink throughout the day as it dries out, especially those containers as well. It's the one thing I'm always just making sure of that, I'm getting out there and checking all these different containers. I don't want any of them to dry out or cause any sort of damage or anything like that. And so far, as I mentioned last week, everything's been going great. I mean, just, a week to week, here it is a week later, and the plants are just thriving and growing. And it seems like most everything's almost doubled in size, tripled in the amount of fruit on my tomato plants and everything. I keep going out there and I see more and more of them. And we've got several of the different cherry varieties that I've got growing are already starting to put out ripe tomatoes for me. So that's exciting to be able to start, because I'm a garden grazer. I love to get out there and just munch on things from the garden. And cherry tomatoes are the best, when it comes to grazing out of the garden space. So it's time. I'm getting out there and plucking little tomatoes off of the cherry tomatoes and getting little snacks while I'm out there. But really great. We've got lots of different cucumber varieties that are really starting to take off. I've got some beans, like I said, beans all over the place that are really starting to grow as well too. I mentioned last week, and I'm going to get on this week for sure. It's really my big goal for this week is to go do some video. I'm going to take some video and walk around, do a little bit of a early summer garden tour, take you all around and show you all the different things that are growing on out in our garden spaces. Because I think, as I've mentioned, I kind of had big plans and wanted to get a lot of things going. And then, as plans go, I kind of had to pull back on some of that sort of stuff. But as I mentioned last week, things are growing so well and going really awesome out in the garden that I'm really surprised. And it's, so I want to get out there. I want to shoot some video, do a little garden tour, show you guys all the different things that we've got growing out around in the different garden spaces here in our alleyways, in our back patio, all of this sort of, we've got some really cool stuff and some few little neat surprises and things like that in there. So we'll do that. Take you through some of the upcoming projects and stuff like that we're going to be doing out in the like I said, the different various spaces that we have here. And then hopefully as we move down the season, I'll try to maybe get out there, maybe hopefully once a month or something, and show you the progress and see what's happening. As I don't really have too many plans on doing too much video right now, but it's nice. I want to kind of get back into it slowly but surely. But I think some good garden tours and to show you guys all what we've got growing on around here would be a really great idea as far as that's concerned. Right on. All right on, everybody. So I did mention just a little bit ago too about our roll call. So yeah, definitely let us know you're here. Let us know where you're growing from. Let us know what you got growing on in the garden, because it's time now to see who's all in the chat for our roll call.
My name is Kevin.
Yeah.
That is my name.
Yeah.
They call me Kevin.
Yeah.
Because that's my name.
Roll call.
All right. I see we've got a few people in here. Let's say hello to those folks joining with us live here on the show. And if you haven't had a chance yet to jump into the chat here, definitely drop in. Like I said, let us know where you're growing from, what you got growing on, all of that right here for our roll call segment. And right at the top of this segment here, let's go ahead. Give a big, huge shout out to the J-Bot, our host yesterday on the show, joining with us today, facilitating in the chat, joining us from Huron County, Midwestern Ontario, Canada, in the lee of Lake Huron. Definitely be sure to keep an eye out in the chat there for different links and information and all of that as Jay facilitates our live conversation. We've got Shawnee Grows in the conversation as well, too. Shawnee says, I heard yesterday's live stream, J-Bot take over, your transplanted cucumbers died in the straw bales, but I didn't hear what you're planting. Oh, I'm sorry. This is a question for Jay. Okay. All right. Well, I don't know. We'll have to find out from Jay for sure. Let's see here. We got Adam joining us here as well, too. Hello from Central Point. That's right. Just right up the road from me, right here in Southern Oregon. Hope everything's going good. I hope you had a great 4th of July with your family and all of that as well, too, Adam. Great to have you here. Thank you for jumping in. We've got, let's see, Shawnee says, listening in from Minnesota. I've had 7 inches of rain total this week. Yay. Yeah, rain is good. We had some a little bit ago, but I'm not sure if it's now summertime. So around here, we don't usually see very much rain throughout this season, but I'm hoping we can get a little bit here and there. The garden is making me panic a little. There's a grass takeover, a soldier weed issue, and I'm overwhelmed and need a plan. Weeds. I know I got several out in my different spaces, and I was telling myself I think, day before yesterday, I do remember I was like, I got to get out there. I didn't have the time, but I was like, I got to get out real soon, and I got to start taking care of this weed issue before it really starts taking over some of my garden spaces. So I feel you for sure. And the problem there is that we just got to get at it, right? We just got to get at it, start pulling, start ripping, start hopefully, you've got a nice, my favorite thing is like the stirrup hoe. I get up and around in there and just kind of cut those things out from underneath themselves. And we just kind of got to get at it and do it sometimes. Weeds. Hey, we've got Michael O'Connor in the conversation here, joining us from North Alabama Mountain, Zone 8A. Great to have you here from Alabama. Michael, thank you so much for joining in. Always great to see you in the conversation. Janet McDonald joining us as well, too. Thank you for being here. Great to have you here as well, too. We've got Dusty Flats joining us here as well, too. Hello, sunny day today. Was just listening to other gardeners lament about herbicide drift. Hey, yeah, that doesn't sound very good at all, does it? Yikes. Don't want to have to deal with any I worry about that. Again, I live in a city. I'm always dealing with, different, folks around us. These things are sold to the general public, which is my biggest thing. I think maybe there are some uses, and I know our guest today has a lot of thoughts and opinions on this sort of stuff as well, too. But, they've got their uses in a professional way, but they shouldn't be sold to the general public, because I literally just had one of my neighbors come out, and he had like one of those backpacks on, and pumping, and wanting to go out and spray and everything. And luckily, though, I mean, I talked him out of it, which was, I was like, whoa, 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 and he was like, and he was really, great too, was, willing to listen and hear it out and all that sort of stuff. I said, and I just really, warned him that it wasn't a really good idea, and it wasn't something that was going to make me very happy if any of that stuff drifted over, or I had to worry about parts of my garden dealing with it. So luckily they packed it back up into their garden shed, and hopefully won't touch that stuff ever again. So it's not good. It's not good stuff at all. We don't want to, we don't want any of that sort of stuff in any of our garden spaces, for sure. Let's see here. Who else we got joining with us here today? I know we've got, we've got our friend David from Bowtie Life joining with us here. He's going to be here in just a moment or two for our In the Garden segment, joining us from the Emerald Coast of Florida, where kitchen cabinets are being painted beautifully, walls are finally getting color, and the remodel momentum keeps building. Well, that's good. That's good. It seems like you're getting some real progress there on that project. Exciting to see it get closer to being done, for sure. Let's see here. Nope. What's up, everyone? Cam from Las Vegas back again, and super excited to see John on the show. He's so great. Yes, John is pretty awesome. Really great friend and fellow gardener. Does really awesome stuff with his channel and everything. I've been following John since my earliest days, learning about gardening on YouTube. He's been one of my teachers and educators, and I've learned so much from him as far as even my own garden spaces too. So it's great to have him back on the show with us here in just a little bit as well too. Let's see who else we got here. EE2201 joining us. Good afternoon. Hello from Ohio. Thanks for being here with us today. It's great to have you here in the conversation. And let's see here. We've got who else do we got in here? Oh, we got Habitual Hobbies in the conversation as well too. Good day to you. Great to see you here. Lots of work to do in the garden, and I hope we all have a great time. Yes, indeed. That's right. Get out into the garden. Take us out with you too, though. Go. That's one of the things I really about our good friend Adam, who joins in with us too. I love that, he's always bringing us out into the garden while he's doing his garden work and everything too, and listening in. So definitely great to have you here though too, Habitual. Awesome to see you in the conversation with us today. Oh, Shawnee says a video or even a short clip of up close on your plants would be great to see. I know, that's what I like doing the little video clip for our Saturday shows that we start our Saturday shows with and everything, but it is only just like a little minute, a little small snapshot, a little scene from what's going on in the garden spaces out there too. So I want to get out a good little look around and show you all the cool stuff that's growing on out in our garden spaces here too. So definitely looking forward to that this week. Hopefully I'll get it done by the end of the week. Hopefully. But we know how that goes. No guarantees, but I'm going to try. We got Farmer Marshall in the conversation as well too, joining us. Georgia 8A. He says it's hot for the first time in my life. The heat got me yesterday. I'm taking most of the day off from the garden. Oh, yeah, like I said, that heat, sometimes it gets up there. It can be a little overwhelming. We got to make sure we're keeping ourselves cool out there. And our guest from yesterday's show with the J-Bots, Joe from Muddy Puddles Farm, joining us here from Cornwall, UK. Thanks for being here, Joe. Thanks for joining in on the show yesterday. It was great to have you here with us. And let's see here. Who else do we got in the conversation? Anybody else here? I'll run through here real quick. There we go. I think we're pretty good today. And let's see. Janet McDonald says Texas Hill Country. Join us from Texas, Zone 9. Have ivy growing up west window screen for shade. and a bit of nature can root later. Awesome. That sounds great. Shade could be really needed there in Texas or in other parts like Georgia there, where our friend Farmer Marshall's dealing with all that heat. Like I said, folks over on the East Coast are really, really burning up with all that heat. Hopefully everybody makes it through all right. Hopefully the gardens are going great. And let's see here. MKP joining us, just got in from the garden work. It is a hot day. That's what we're saying there. Hot day. Well, good thing to get in and come hang out with us here on the Let's Get Growing show. Thank you all so much for jumping in for our roll call today. And if you didn't get a chance to get in for our roll call, definitely keep on jumping in on the conversation here. And like I said, when we get our guests coming up as well, to drop your questions and comments and all of that into our chat, and we'll just feature those throughout the show there. And right on, everybody. Like I mentioned, we've got a fun little in the garden segment from our friend David from Bowtie Life. So let's go and see what he's got growing on in the garden.
Greetings, peasants. I am Lord Reginald Compostington III, keeper of the sacred mulch, master of photosynthesis, duke of drainage, proctor of proper soil pH, and I have arrived with troubling news. It's come to my attention that many of you are gardening incorrectly, and frankly, it's embarrassing. You people out there experimenting, disgusting. There are rules, immutable laws of gardening, not suggestions, not guidelines, rules. For example, tomatoes must only be planted on the third Tuesday following a waxing crescent moon, while facing east, listening to Gregorian chants. Failure to do this results in immediate tomato disappointment. Secondly, all mulch must be precisely 2.73 inches, not 2.7, not 2.8. I once banished a man for using 3 inches. Savage. Thirdly, one must never smile while planting carrots. The carrots can sense weakness.
Every single garden is going to be different. Gardening gives you the freedom to experiment with your own garden the way you want to.
Experiment? Experiment? My dear friends, gardening was perfected in 1472. There have been no improvements since then.
The absolute most important ingredient in your garden is you.
Wrong. Categorically wrong. The most important ingredient in the garden is worm feces. Obviously. Who told this man that humans were important? No. The gardener is merely an assistant, a servant, a compost valet. If forced to choose between saving a gardener or preserving a particular excellent pile of worm castings, the choice is obvious. Save the worm poo. I have also observed troubling behavior. You people continue saying, well, this works in my garden, as though your garden matters. No, all gardens are identical. There are no climate differences. There are no grow zones. Florida, Montana, Arizona, England. irrelevant. Nature appreciates consistency. For example, bananas should be grown in Alaska. Lavender thrives in swamps. Blueberries prefer concrete. Cactus should be watered every 11 minutes. Mint should obviously be planted directly in the ground. Everywhere, preferably near property lines. Yes, plant mint everywhere. What could go wrong?
Someone told me that you got to go out and top all your tomatoes. And so I went out and I chopped the top foot off all my tomato plants.
Excellent! Perfect execution. One should always remove random portions of plants. How else can they learn discipline? I personally prune my tomatoes using a ceremonial scissors forged by monks. And remember, never identify whether your tomatoes is determinate or indeterminate. Knowledge creates hesitation. Hesitation creates a weakness. More rules. Listen carefully. Seeds planted after 4:37 p.m. lose motivation. You must apologize to every earthworm you disturb. Compost piles require wrinkly acclamations. Peppers grow better if insulted. Raised beds taller than 19 inches become arrogant. You must locate crops according to this zodiac. If squirrels steal strawberries, you have offended nature. One cannot garden successfully without imported French dirt. You may only water plants with rain collected during moments of emotional vulnerability. Sunflowers prefers jazz. Beans demand classical violin. Okra appreciates tax documents. And yet, despite all my perfect rules, there seems to be one problem. You people keep succeeding anyway, even while doing everything wrong. How troubling. Perhaps gardening is not a rigid science of universal laws. Perhaps different gardens require different solutions. Perhaps your climate matters. Your time matters. Your goals matter. And perhaps you should stop listening to people who claim there is only one way to garden. No, that cannot be right. Forget I said that. At the end of the day, gardening is deeply personal. Try things. Fail. Learn. Experiment. Ignore anyone who tells you there's only one right way. Because, well, your garden doesn't have to be perfect. It simply has to be yours. Though I still recommend superior worm castings. Obviously, I am Lord Compostington III. Farewell, peasants. Oh, and never trust zucchini. They know things. Have a blessed day, friend.
Hello, let's get growing live gardening community. I'm Charles Malky, biologist and co-founder of Ivy Organic brand products. Ivy Organic is based on whitewashing, a time-tested way to protect plants from summer sunburn, winter sun scald, pests, transplant shock, and environmental stresses. Unlike latex or tar-based products that crack, peel, and leave residue on your soil indefinitely, Ivy Organic is truly organic and a healthier alternative. It dries on porous, allowing plants to breathe and heal naturally without rotting. Also ideal for protecting your pruning and grafting wounds. Available in white for maximum reflection or natural tones like brown, green, gray, and grayish. Ivy Organic protects while blending beautifully with your landscape. Choose from the whitewash oil-free formula or the 3-in-1 plant guard made with natural oils to help repel insects and rodents. Protect your plants the smart, organic way with Ivy Organic. Learn more at ivorganics.com and wishing you all happy gardening.
All right, all right. Here we are back at it now. Definitely, everybody. Thanks, David. What a great, fun segment. Oh my, oh my. Love it when you're breaking out the characters. What a great great segment on garden spaces and hard and fast rules in the garden. I don't know. There might be a few things that we would, you know what I mean? We don't want to pour boiling water onto our plants, as I would say, but there's a lot from that point on that we can experiment and have fun. And our gardens are so much different from space to space and zone to zone and all of that sort of stuff. So that's one of the things that makes gardening so fun, is to be able to experiment and to have just as much fun in our garden space with our plants and everything as David does with all of his costumes and characters and all of that too. So again, David, thank you so much for the In the Garden segment this week. So much fun. Really, really appreciate that. And also to go and check out David over at Bowtie Life in the Garden. Down below, I've got a link. You can go over and check out his channel there and all the things that they've got growing on over there. And also, big, huge thank you to our sponsor, Ivy Organics, as well, too. Thanks to them. Go and check out ivyorganics.com and go get some of their 3-in-1 plant guard there over at ivyorganics.com. Other things, they got some great fertilizers and stuff like that as well, too. Just use our promo code GROW10, GROW10, to get 10% off over there at ivyorganics.com. Right on, everybody. I do want to mention here as well, too, we've got coming up here in just a couple of weeks on the Sunday edition, our third Sunday of the month, we've got our monthly gardening book club coming up with our good friend, Mr. MBC, Mark Boucher Colbert, joining us live here in a couple of weeks. And this month's book, we're featuring Mark Valencia's 100 Top Crops. That's right. Mark is a first-time author now. So he's going to come and join with us here on the third Sunday of the month to talk all about his very first book, 100 Top Crops. So definitely come and join with us, Mark and I, for our really fun. I mean, our monthly gardening book clubs are so much fun. You'll definitely won't want to miss out on this one coming up with Mark from Self-Sufficient Me joining us. And if you didn't get a chance to check out last week's show as well, too, we had some fun conversations with our garden contributors here on the show. Last Saturday, we had Shawnee Grows with us, along with Robin Gardens, for a fun gardening conversation. And on the Sunday edition, we had Brandy from the Suburban Gardenista, our trivia Brandy on the Saturday show, join with us on the Sunday show, talk all about what she's got growing on, along with Katrina from Sow and Tear as well, too. So some great conversations last week, if you didn't get a chance to check those out as well, too. So definitely check out those conversations when you get a chance, and come join us for our monthly gardening book club coming up here as well, too. So right on. Let's get moving on today. We've got a really great conversation with another fun return guest, our good friend John Kohler. So let's get this conversation going.
You never know when you might learn something, and that's what this is about for me. These are people that I admire. Please welcome my next guest.
All right. Let's welcome to the show back again our friend from Growing Your Greens, It's John Kohler.
Yo, what's up?
What's up, my man? How you doing? How you doing? How you feeling?
I'm the garden father.
The garden. I love it. I love it. That's awesome, man. I need to get one of those. Where'd you get that at?
My buddy Nate got it for me as a gift.
Man.
I don't know where he got it, but yeah, I don't have kids. I want to have kids.
Yeah.
But I'm a plant daddy.
That's right.
All my plants.
Look at everything growing. That's awesome. Excellent. So everything's going on. How hot is it down there in Vegas today? 105,
normal summer day, normal July, August day. You know, I know it's like 105 in some parts of the country. It's like crazy hot. This is like normal here. So
yeah, that's what I was saying is there's several folks who are dealing with a big heat wave and all of that. So maybe we'll talk a little bit about some of your tactics and things that you do in the garden to deal with the summer heat, you know, maybe some of that stuff that you're doing over there in Vegas normally and on a normal garden day might help some of these folks out in a hot day over there as they're doing it. But I think what I was mentioning earlier too is that we're usually like in that hot, you know, we can be as hot as Las Vegas in our summertime here in Southern Oregon as well too. But I think we've transferred, you know, that kind of like we want to trade our weather with other folks. And I think that's kind of what's been happening too, because we're having a cooler summer than normal for us here in Southern Oregon, but other folks across the country are starting to deal with some of these just mega heat waves. Right on. So first off though, tell me again, you know, you've been out traveling, and which you're always doing. You're always bringing us great stuff. I'd encourage everybody, you know, one of the fun things I love about your channel and have since many, many years ago and was kind of inspiring to me and my channel is going out and visiting people, visiting these cool gardens and folks who are out there doing some really awesome stuff out in their spaces and everything too. So definitely everybody check out some of John's recent videos. We got a link down below to the channel there. But tell us about some of these garden adventures you've been on recently.
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, I recently was gone like 3 weeks away from my garden, 3 weeks. That's like the longest time I've ever been away. I had 2 back-to-back trips, one to Michigan and then one to basically South Florida to Southeast and Southwest Florida in one trip. So I visited a lot of places. I was down there for 2 different mango festivals. So that was really fun. Visited organic mango farms. Yeah, 2 different mango festivals. One took place in a organic mango orchard with free. I personally love that one because it's like you're just in nature, amongst the trees, and there's people are selling amazing tropical vegetables, plant starts, and fruit trees, and fresh mangoes and other tropical fruits. And then I went. That was over in Pine Island near Fort Myers. Also checked out, of course, Echo when I was down there. One of my favorite places down in Southwest Florida. Doing some amazing work. Everybody should check them out if they've never been. Of course, I have videos on my YouTube channel for many years. And then I went to Southeast Florida, went to the West Palm Beach Mango Festival, which, you know, it took place in a convention center. They rented out 100,000 square feet. And that's basically just an indoor convention center. People set up tables, sold mangoes for as much as $10 a pound, which people like probably listen to this. I could go get mangoes at my local store for $1 each. I mean, here in Vegas this week, they're on sale. Adolfo's 4 for $1, or was it 5 for $1? Some crazy price. And then people are paying in South Florida $10 a pound. Wow. I mean, these are premium mangoes. I brought back a bunch with me, and like you just bought mangoes at the store. It's like, you know, you eating mangoes at the store and you think they're good because they're imported, they're either hot water dipped or irradiated. And then they're like picked too early, and it's like eating a tomato from the store versus the tomato from your
that's what I was going to ask you. Is
garden, whereas like in South Florida, they grow all kinds of crazy mangoes that taste like coconut cream, lemon meringue pie, amazing floral flavors you never knew mangoes could taste, like these like citrusy pine flavors. I mean, so it's insane. And, you know, I mean,
that's really what you're paying for, though, too, when you're paying that premium, is that
you're paying for access,
that opportunity to be able to try these different varieties and have these different, you know, versus, again, like you said, what we get from the store.
And of course, in Miami, you know, there's people from all over the world that grew up in different places, whether it's Asia, whether, you know, in India or Southeast Asia or the Caribbean, and they grew up with that one particular type of mango. You know, I like the Donny mango is my favorite. I grew up on the islands with the Donny mango, so they came to get the Donny mango because at the store you could never find the Donny mango. You know, it's like they had over 300 varieties of mangoes on display at one of the mango festivals. Of course, I have a video from last year where I go over every variety, and like it's like you could go to like an heirloom expo and see 300 varieties of tomatoes. I mean, this happens to be 300 varieties of mangoes, and they're all like mind-blowingly different. And like it's so crazy that just people don't have these experience. I mean, people have this experience with tomatoes and stuff. Yeah, but not with mangoes because, of course, it takes special growing conditions. And then, of course, along the way, I met so many other really cool people and visited other cool farms. Visited old friends that I hadn't visited in a while. Yeah, and visited new places and new farms. Got to know about a new tropical fig tree. So people in the tropics always keep trying to grow, the standard figs that we would grow, in here, and they don't do well. And then I found a true tropical fig called the Roxbury or something fig. And the fig tree grows this amazing fig tree, but then like all the fruits are right by the bottom at the base. Yeah. It's like, I mean, that's a new tree, new fruit I got to try that I never even knew about before. And it was like, even I'm still learning stuff. And then of course I get to share this with all my viewers and things. Yeah. And of course, a lot of these genetics I'm bringing down to Puerto Rico. So I'm going to, be able to grow some really
I checked out
unique items down there.
Yeah, I got to check out one of your recent walk around that you did with your property down there in Puerto Rico and everything. It seems like, at least as far as the things that you're getting to grow and getting installed and your different trails and places that you're trying to put things in, things are starting to really come together as far as that goes, right?
Slowly but surely, and every day, the sun comes out and things grow bigger, even without me being there. So it's always fun when I show up 6 months later to see what's still alive and what didn't make it. And most things made it. And then it's like, oh, how much did they grow in 6 months? It's like, whoa, it's like 1.5 feet taller. It's cool.
Right. Yeah. But it's got to be really nice, though, too, to be able to have that kind of space, though, right? You're really used to growing in this, your urban spaces that you have, your front yard, your backyard. You got to deal with a compact area, fitting as much in these little spaces and everything. But there, I mean, you're walking trails and you get to go, well, I'll do this over here and I'll do that over there and all of that sort of stuff. So that's got to be really kind of a different experience as far as planning out a garden space, right?
Yeah, it's a different experience. And I kind of wonder, like, am I still planting too close? Because I'm used to like planting in tight spaces. Should I be spacing out these large giant fruit trees? Probably a bit more space than I am. I guess time will tell.
Yeah, no doubt. What's one of the best things that you've been surprised with as far as what you've been trying to grow down there that's working out?
Oh, the Bailey for sure. The Bailey. This plant right here, or brother genetics. So every year I grow them in Vegas. This plant, the Bailey or Abolithus manuhot. This is the ant lilies. It has these leaves, and then I usually grow the ones with like different segmented leaves. Mm-hmm. It's like the Kiko's crump or something. But this plant has done really well. So like I grow it in Vegas. It grows the full summer. Some summers they'll get like 10 feet tall. I'll basically uproot it, cut it in half, throw it in my luggage, take it down to Puerto Rico, and then plant it in the ground or do cuttings on the ones that I cut. And then they all basically root. I have very high success with, doing cuttings like 90% plus. And then I stick them in the ground in Puerto Rico, without irrigation. And when I stick them in on my property, I've had like also 90% success. I mean, my friend's property, depending on where he plants it, like he's planted a lot of them too. And like, if it's a place that gets runoff water, it's done good. But if it's like stays too dry, and it has like, disturbed soil, then it doesn't do as good. But like they're really resilient, and each one of these leaves are edible just like lettuce. You could eat it just like lettuce as a salad, and they're just a tree that grows year-round salad greens to eat. So it's like you don't got to keep planting lettuce every 60 days to have a head, and you don't have to worry about this thing bolting. I mean, it makes flowers and then makes seeds, which you could also then plant and grow more, but like it just keeps growing more leaves every day. It's like my favorite.
Especially in growing in areas where you really can't, I mean, not saying you can't, but it's not as easy to grow the greens, right?
Well, like the common greens that Americans would eat. I mean, we're eating lettuce and things that we get at the grocery store, which I think is incredible. incredibly sad, because what most people never consider is that lettuce as a crop is maybe, what is it, 3,000, 4,000 years old. It's been domesticated that long. And there's, of course, wild lettuce, which I had some growing over there. I think it bolted and I pulled it out. But, there's wild lettuce, and like people don't eat wild lettuce these days because it's too bitter. And then, but if you think about it, we've bred lettuce to bred out the wildness and what bred out the bitterness, which is the stuff that helps you sleep better at night. So I encourage everybody to eat their bolting lettuce and that white sap that comes out of it. I like to juice it and get a nice kind of more bitterish dandelion-esque juice when it bolts. But we modified what we selectively bred for sweet, tender lettuce, whereas like the Bailey plant for millennia, in the South Pacific Islands where it originated, right? It's been unmessed with. The people just take cuttings, stick in the cuttings, they grow more, and they just eat this as a leafy green for millennia that has not been basically bred for anything different, because it already had the properties that we want, and it's more nutritious anyway. And it's like, these are the kind of greens we would eat if we were in the tropics or if we're in hot weather, because surely in the middle of summer, you see there's no lettuce in my garden. It's not making it. It bolted. It was
There's
bolting.
no way,
Then I get spider mites on it when it is bolting, and then it just gets nasty. I've ripped them all out. And it's like, but then, people in hot climates, still try to grow lettuce because that's what we're used to as humans, but we should really adapt to what we can grow in our specific area. So like in the summertime, I grow all Asian vegetables that would grow in Asia, basically all year long in hot Asia. And eat those in the summer. So I really encourage people to adapt, because as the weather is changing and whatnot, then you need to adapt or not, and if you keep trying to grow lettuce every year, now you get these 100-degree days, and then your lettuce bolts, it messes it up, gets it bitter, then you're not getting lettuce. Well, hey, why don't you start growing some of these heat tolerant plants that are used to the weather? And they laugh. I mean, against the back wall there, which you can't see because this is all overgrown, I'm growing water spinach, another thing that grows really well. Water spinach is Ipomea aquatica, but then I'm also growing Ipomea batis, which many people are familiar with. This is sweet potato. They're very closely related, and the sweet potato leaves are also edible, and the sweet potato leaves actually grow a lot faster than the water spinach leaves. So it's like I'm all going to have a upcoming video on that, because like I always promote water spinach, but this year, like my water spinach is off to a slow start. I've been planting just whole sweet potatoes that just start shooting in my kitchen because I buy too many and I can't eat them all. And I'm like, what the heck am I doing with it? Well, let's just plant it. I planted it, and all these greens already out of nowhere. Now I have all these greens to eat, which you can eat sweet potato greens raw or cooked.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe they don't taste as good as water spinach, but they sure grow a heck of a lot faster. And another amazing heat tolerant green that can also give you a tuber to eat, So it's like, I'm really going to focus on making a sweet potato green episode, because I have really good examples of how to really easily do it. And especially for hot climates like this, it's like the number one no-brainer. I mean, I don't even know if I mentioned it in my past videos, but like this year really showed me the way about sweet potato greens.
Yeah, definitely. And I that's again too, one of the things that you're going to get over at John's channel, Growing Your Greens, is a bunch of, I'm always learning some new variety of something that I've never really thought about before. And I think that's one of the cool things that you do in your garden space, is that you're always exploring for these different types of things, like you said, that you can adapt your garden to for some of these different, weather conditions that, of course you deal with there in Vegas on a regular basis, that can help, build up what you're able to get out of your garden through those times of the year, especially summertime when the heat's so much. Greens, like you said, aren't going to be doing so well in the garden, so why not try some of these other things that you're showing that work in your garden space?
Yeah, traditional greens that are normally grown in cool season won't work in the hot season, but then of course there's plenty of greens that love the heat, so like standard arugula doesn't like the heat, but what I found is the wild arugula, which is actually not in the foreground, but in the background of this bed, that's like really tall. That's all wild arugula. What happens is it basically just grows. I just cut it back to the ground, keep the roots alive, and then it basically, come this spring, it shoots up, and then I pick all the tender like buds and like the growth tips, and then it goes to flower. Then I chop it all back, and then it basically comes back and then sends off all the new growth tips, and then I just harvest all growth tips to eat, because the wild arugula has very small leaves, but it's, you know, full of isothiocyanates, which is anti-cancer, also good for phase 2 liver detoxification. And I mean, it's just an amazing plant. And like I never knew that wild arugula could do so good in the heat. And only through mistake, because I planted wild arugula because that I got from one of my buddies that are growing like little plant starts at what's their garden? It's in Long Beach. Anyways, they make plant starts for people, and then they gave me a bunch of the starts, and I planted them. And like over the winter, they didn't do nothing. I'm like, why am my arugula growing in the winter? Like that's when it's supposed to grow. And then like the spring it busted out, and then last summer I'm like, whoa, this green is kicking butt in the summertime. I can't even stop it.
Yeah.
So now I just like incorporated into my garden, and I have now arugula to eat. Who would have thought? But it's wild arugula, which is stronger than regular arugula.
That's what I was going to ask. Is it
even healthier for you? It's
stronger, spicier.
It's a different spice. You know, it's like a bolting standard arugula. I could say it's spicier than like those young baby leaves they harvest at the store. But I would say like one of these that bolt, and when I pick them as a new shoots before the flowers come out, you know, I pick the buds with the baby leaves. Like to me, it's mild, but I mean, you probably give me a lot of stuff and give a normal person stuff, and I'll be like, that's mild, and for them, it's like their mouth is burning or something, because I'm like, I'm just used to eating all these crazy things.
Yeah. No, that sounds good. I like arugula. I like that kind of sensation. You know, you're eating a green and you're not expecting that kind of little heat, so it'd be kind of interesting to taste something that's probably got a little more intensity to it. Would be really good.
Yeah.
Right on. So again, let's talk a little bit about again, everybody's out there dealing with the heat of summertime. We're well into it here now, and tell us a little bit about some of these strategies you use to keep your garden thriving throughout some of this heat, especially because, again, too, you were gone for 3 weeks. What are some of the things that you're thinking about as you're preparing to leave for 3 weeks for your garden space, especially knowing that you're going to be dealing with the type of heat there?
I mean, number one is irrigation. That's automatic. So like almost everything I have is on irrigation, except I have a few new plantings that wasn't. So I made sure that those were on irrigation before I left, because if it's not, they're goners.
Yeah.
So that's probably the number one thing. And number two thing is, you know, for fun this trip, I put up more outdoor security cameras in my garden that I can monitor remotely. So I can kind of like, you know, they're like 2K. So I could kind of zoom in and check my plants and call a friend that lives nearby if something is crazy happening, to make sure nothing goes super bad, super wrong, or super bad. They're getting very inexpensive. The brand I recommend is Wyze, W-Y-Z-E. They have these really cool like cameras that you could like use a solar panel with and just use outdoors, as long as you got a Wi-Fi. And it's like a one-pay subscription. So I pay like $99 a year, and it's like as many cameras as you could have on your plan, right? They don't limit you. So it's like I got cameras at my place in Cali, my place here. And I have cameras going up in Puerto Rico too, so I could like log in to my account. I could see all my gardens like on the screen at one time. It's kind of cool. Like,
you don't gotta wait to get there now to see how things are going. You can just spy in on it on a day-to-day basis.
I can kind of get the updates. You know, it's kind of fun. So I do recommend that cameras. I mean, and then the other most important thing is irrigation, like I mentioned, but then also to water several times a day. Like if we're out in the heat, right? Can you just chug down 1 gallon of water in the morning and be like, I got my water for the day? Then you go on a run, then you go home, then you go out shopping, you know, then you go who knows what, you're working in the garden, then you don't drink any water for the rest of the day. No, as we're losing water, we're perspiring, right? We need to replenish that water ongoing. We can't just have a ton in the morning. And this is something that I've really had to get out of the habit of doing, because in Northern Cal, when I was gardening there, I basically just water at night or water in the morning. And my plants, because it wasn't extremely hot, could make it through the day with just one drink. And nowadays, like, you know, I have to water regularly. And that's something that I learned from, you know, one of the garden teachers, Leslie Doyle, who grew here in Vegas for over 30 years. And she taught me to water throughout the day, because what you know, like we perspire, you know, the dogs like transpire. They pant, and then that basically evaporates the moisture off their tongue.
Yeah.
And then the plants also transpire. They bring the cool water up from the roots.
Yeah.
Through all their cellular structure, and then basically they evaporate it out of their leaves, right?
Yep.
And like if they run out of water to transpire, they can't cool themselves down when it's 105 degrees out, or even more when the soil temperature is even hotter than 105, because it's it's dark and it's absorbing the heat. So it's like very critical to water multiple times during the day. And then also too, I mean, there's also mist, which I'm also going to make a video on because I was doing this the other day for fun. I got some, because I am growing this summer, which I normally don't do. I'm growing more kale, like dinosaur kale, which is the most heat tolerant kale that I found, and as well as my tree collards, of course. And I'm getting some white flies, and I've been basically on this no spray any kind of even organic pesticides, even soap or anything. I or oils or anything, or neem. I haven't been spraying nothing. What I do is I go around and spray just water, high pressure water with a nice jet or, fan spray to blast them off and they fly away and stuff. But then you got to keep doing that every day.
Mm-hmm.
And I decided to do it at 1 p.m. It was 100 degrees out. And I'm like, all right, I'm just going to spray this stuff down. And I know people say, don't spray in the middle of the day. It's going to burn your plants. The water's going to dehydrate. And I don't know. It's going to nothing's burned.
Yeah.
So I got this. I'm gonna get a IR gun with a heat sensor, and then I'm gonna water my plants on 105. Or I'm gonna maybe wait till 110 degree day. I'm gonna measure the temperature of the soil, the dirt, the leaves, and then I'm gonna water, and then I'm gonna measure, and then I'm gonna put an IR temp gun on it, and then show what actually happens to basically, in my opinion, bust that myth. Now we still shouldn't be watering overhead in the middle of the day, because you're going to get a lot of evaporation. That's why I recommend drip irrigation to water the plants at the roots where the plants need it, so they can once again take up the water and transpire. But I was overhead watering specifically for the white flies, but then I'm like, let's just give everything a drink anyways, because it may be a little bit thirsty anyways. But so it's
but that is kind of a big thing, though.
Seeing what I could get away with.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's one of every time I'm talking to someone or I'm about, watering or dealing with things in the heat, folks are like, don't water in the middle of the day. That's a big one. And I've found that, I water whenever my plants kind of tell me they need water. They'll kind of let me know. And throughout some of these hotter days than other days, some days, water in the morning and everything's good throughout the day. But if it's a little hotter out, and you're out there in the midday and you can see the soil's drying out, or the plants are just kind of a little weaker for, wear throughout the heat of the day, I give them a nice little drink, cool the roots off a bit. Like you said, keep it a little bit low, but cool the roots off a bit, and you can just see them perk right back up right in the middle of the heat of the day. And again, too, even if it's overhead, one of the big, I think, is a myth, is that water gets onto the plants and then the sun reflects through the water and it beats in there and it burns your plants and all of that. And I've never found that to be the case with any of my gardens throughout some of the hottest parts of the summer when we get out in water to, make sure that things aren't drying out. So I think that it would make a great video to kind of bust that myth up just a little bit too, because it's just really, if your plants need water, they need water. And that's exactly. It doesn't matter what time of day it is.
Yeah. I mean, it's always better to, of course, not overhead. And I could just turn my irrigation system on to underwater. Wendy, how's it going?
Yeah.
But yeah, if you got overhead water, man, you got overhead water, if your plants are dry. But the goal is even then, if you see them dry and they're thirsty, then you should have already preemptively already watered in advance of that. And do that in the future, so that you don't have to, be reactive, instead be proactive in your garden, which is a lot more beneficial.
Real quick question for you here. Dusty Flats was asking just a little bit ago here, what enclosed compost bin do you finally like? That's right. You've been through a lot of them. I know I've seen those in the videos over the years. And they say they've had a recent vole issue. So enclosed, probably because they want to keep these pest animals out. You have any specific ones you're using more so today?
Yeah, so I mean, the one I'm using today, I'm actually, you know what, back to my lifetime. What is it, like 110 gallon? Like they made them a long time ago, and I actually got back to using that one. I was using the Aerobin composter, but then it like filled up, and then I didn't empty it. and then I'm like, oh man, I got too much compost. Like that's full. I need to go to my next one. So then I basically started using my old tumbler again.
Yeah.
And then
if you need the space, right, you just use it anyways.
Yeah, so I would recommend the Aerobin 110 gallon capacity. So because it like automatically aerates it, and it's pretty good quality. I bought one, and then I'm setting up a second one of those. So I'll probably have a video on that one of these days, because I gotta first get rid of some of the Joras that I no longer recommend because of just rust issues, which is unfortunate. But yeah, the Lifetime original, what is it, 110 tumbler, like,
yeah.
I mean, that was the first one I put up in my compost alley, and it's still functional today.
Wow.
We went through all kinds of crap, but it's been very durable, and a lot of other ones I've wrecked.
All right. Yep. That is the bigger question, is like, how long are they going to last? Can they handle someone who's regularly using them, with intentions? And some of those bins just aren't really worthy of long-term use. All right. All right.
Actually,
well, here
it's my Lifetime 80 gallon. Sorry, because Lifetime makes a bunch of different ones, and some of them I've gotten and they've like self-destructed. But the original Lifetime 80 gallon, it's no longer in production. But you could maybe find a used one. But yeah, that's the one I recommend. Lifetime 80 gallon. They make like a dual bin 100 gallon that looks like barrels. Those ones came apart on me. Then they have like a dual bin 100, which looks like these square things. Those one had massive problems. Yeah, I don't recommend either of those. I had issues with them.
Right on, right on. Well, excellent. Let's do this. Actually, I've got a nice, I guess we already saw her in the conversation. Let's drop in here. We got a special guest to join with us in this conversation, John. Let's welcome our good friend, Wendy Fan from Wendyland. How are you doing? Are you muted? Let's unmute. Can you?
Can't hear you, Wendy.
She's there. There she is. How's it going?
Hear me?
Yep,
good?
There you are.
You're
there
good.
You are.
Hey everyone. Hey John.
Hey, how's it
This
going?
place is looking awesome.
Yeah.
Going. Can't wait to start my day. Well, continue my day.
Right on. Excellent. Yeah, we got Wendy here joining us for a few minutes here on the conversation. She said she could jump in for just a couple of minutes here, so I thought it'd be fun. We'd get together and hang out and see what's growing on. How are you doing, Wendy? How are things going?
Yeah, things are picking back up slowly. Lots of garden projects. Got to build off and finish up some more. It's like some places there's some things are growing, some in the mess, and getting some new plants in. Lots of projects going on. I was just checking out your channel here too. Are you you got some videos coming up here, or is this something I haven't seen? There wasn't very a recent video, so you got some video projects coming up for us? Yes, I shot some videos. I need to make time to. Like those long videos, man. Like as much as I love making it, but you realize how much time it takes, but then you realize even more how much time it actually takes when like I haven't been posting those in a little bit. I've just been managing a lot more things now, but I shot some stuff and I have to edit them. But then I've been posting shorts, and I've been having fun with those.
Right.
Have you seen? Yeah, some of the shorts.
Yeah. I've been checking out the shorts, which you do a great job with. I got to get better at doing those. I don't do you don't do very many shorts, do you, John?
I don't have the time. I don't know how to do shorts that good. Wendy does
the
good
same
shorts
way.
though. I
I
watched.
know, that's what I was saying. I was like, I don't know if I
thanks,
could figure this out.
We gotta do some shorts together, John. Yeah.
I can't think of how shorts work, and like
It's too short for you.
there's too short for me. I can't talk that fast or come up with stupid
I'll be
small
like,
things. I'm verbose.
Yep. And that was one of the big things I learned from you, John, though, is like, you know, if you want to make a video, the length you want to make a video. And a lot of times there's just more to show or things you want to talk about. You want to get in depth on some stuff and all of that too, when it comes down to it. I can't figure out how to just cut things down to just like a couple of minutes or to do these quick little things and stuff like that that shorts require. And then I just don't think my brain wraps around the idea of doing, you know, the vertical versus horizontal, you know, flipping my camera. I just can't do it.
Well, I find that it's much harder when you do a lot of like if your video involves a lot of actions, because you're not like a headshot, you know, so it's really hard to just crop it out of a landscape. So like, yeah, it's really, and might take a lot more time to try to recrop like lots of the frames and all that. So you just end up like shooting two versions.
Yeah, that's what I keep thinking, is like I'm gonna have to shoot two versions of everything if I want to do it one way versus the other.
You just doubled your work there, right? Like
right.
Yeah.
But then I guess too that I was recommended, that's why you move to shooting 4K so that you can utilize and zoom in better, so you can crop them better and they come in more clearer and that sort of thing. But how am I going to figure that out as well?
It'll take up so much space.
Right, exactly.
Like certain shots, I guess you can plan out like which ones you think you're going to use in your shorts, and then you can do 4K for that section. And then you have to shoot from like further away, right? Because like right now, the headshot, if you want to like scale this up, my face would be like this in the right if you like crop vertical. Yeah.
Yep.
Little bit of planning, but
right.
yeah, shorts are fun for like quick bits and like just like a one idea, one point you want to make, you know, like a quick tip midweek or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've been kind of talking about dealing with hot weather. How has it been? Nice and warm down there where you're at?
It's just picked up to the past couple of days. It's warming up again. Today I think it's kind of sunny, but the previous day's been overcast, and then we had cooler weather. It's just like been on and off, and then today it feels very humid.
Yeah.
Which is kind of nice.
Humid, nice.
Humid. Reminds you of the tropics. I like it.
Yeah, I suppose so. That's right. I'm more of a dry heat person than a humid heat.
Well, there's always
I don't want to wear the heat, basically.
Right.
It's like putting on a coat, right?
It's hard. I mean, like the humidity does make you sweat even when you're just in the shade or doing nothing, you know. But
yeah. Let's see here.
Yeah, sometimes like it.
We got some questions dropping in from everybody here. Let's see.
Hey, Wendy,
here.
I want to ask you a question, Wendy.
Oh yeah.
Wendy.
Yes.
Do you have this plant?
I was going to give you a copy of that. Excuse my language. Yeah.
I thought I got something you didn't have. I was so excited to get it, and then I was going to give you a cutting.
Oh, well, you can.
You have it already, though, right?
Huh? Yours
you know what it is?
Are they the same variety?
Yeah. It's so beautiful. Like I want to just grow this on my dragon fruit trellis instead, or mix it. It's so hard. I've been trying to like replace the dragon fruit with this. You know, look at how beautiful that is.
Okay, what are we talking about here? Did we mention what it is?
No, yeah, let's talk. So
let's detail it for the folks out there who are wondering about what John's got here.
John's got a Barbados gooseberry. I've featured it, I think, in a couple of videos, and basically it's like gooseberry, so it's like sour tart, but a little bit more tropical. It's interesting, like the fruit, and it kind of looks like a sun gold yellow cherry tomato, right? Like around. The leaves are also edible, so like before the flowers, you can this plant is edible like year round. You can either harvest the leaves raw or cook. Some people swear by this, how they don't ever get a cold ever since they start eating this. So it's really nutritious. Yeah, and then comes around fall, they'll flower, and they're really fragrant flowers that look like mini dragon fruit flowers. And the bees hover around them like crazy. You hear like this bee symphony. There's like buzzing all over. The flowers
Love
are
it.
just like, yeah, like clusters, and then clusters of golden, like almost like grape, like, but with little spikes like Dragon Ball. Like they try to, I'd say Dragon Ball.
Dragon Balls.
Dragon fruit. The yellow dragon fruit has like the little spikes.
So,
but yeah. But
so
John,
Barbados cherry. Gooseberry.
It's so pretty. Look at that. Oh, has that been in the sun or shade, John? Or
so I basically got it in Florida because like you gave me the original green one, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm growing that here, and I you know I've had it off. I seen yours, and then I'm like, oh, I don't think Wendy has a variegated version. It's like, this is so pretty, and then I brought it back from Florida, and then basically it's been in the sun here in Vegas, in the morning sun, and then it basically gets shade.
So you have
but like it was like, I mean, I brought this back from Florida, so it was like, you know, it's like a 3-gallon. I had to like put in my luggage. It was dedicated. I staked it up so it wouldn't tip over.
And it's so spiky. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's spiky, and like I basically I think one broke a little bit, but it's still
that's mine.
So I'll probably do a cutting on that.
That one's for you.
Like,
you have the variegated version.
Yeah, I got a lot of. So
yeah, I have both, but go ahead, John.
Oh, you just got it? Did you just get it?
No,
or you've had it.
No, I showed it to you before.
Oh, I forgot.
I said, and then I think you were like, "Oh, it's winter right now, or winter's coming. Oh, give it to me next time."
Oh, yeah, probably.
I'm excited for you though. That thing is gorgeous. I still haven't found a home for it, so it's been growing much slower because I keep moving it. The color does kind of wash out a bit when it's in full sun, so Vegas might be a bit harsh, but maybe like a part shade.
Right, and then what's the cold tolerance you found? Because the one you gave me is still alive, but it's not like growing super quick. So I was wondering if I should plant this probably in my like tropical green area that stays a bit warmer in the wintertime.
Yeah, that sounds good. Because I think it tolerates that zone 9. So but maybe keeping it a bit warmer in the winter.
All right.
Maybe Yeah. Maybe it's just the space itself.
And then any hints on the cuttings, Wendy? Because I'll probably do a bunch of cuttings, and I'll have a bunch here, and next time I visit you, I'll bring some.
Cool. Yeah. No, nothing. It's just like a normal cutting. Just take that like maybe I like to do like a 4 inch, right around 4 to 5 inches. You know, when the stem is still. I think the semi-old cuttings are easier. I mean, stems are easier. So like right between where the newer growth and meets the older growth. So it's still a bit firm, but not super woody.
I see. All right. Good
yeah. But they're not hard. They're kind of like succulents. So and
then are you just taking those cuttings and putting them in soil, or are you watering them to produce roots, or
in soil? That's what I do with them. In soil, yeah, and the variegate obviously grows slightly slower than the green one, but it's so pretty. I got another one, but next time I'll show you that one, John.
This
all right.
So that's it seems like a kind of a smaller flower. Do they get pretty big?
It's like a vine, right, Wendy?
Yeah. So it'll grow tall. That's why I was talking about I wanted to replace my dragon fruit. Grow it on that trellis. Or now that the dragon fruit is budding again, I'm like, oh no, I don't want to get rid of it. So maybe I'll mix it too. It'll be so messy. But yeah, it's a vine. It grows up, and then the older it gets like really, like those thorns look almost like nails, like 2.5 inch long nails. But they're obvious, so it likely won't get pricked that bad. But yeah, very cool vine. It's like one of the ancient vines, like cacti before they lost their leaves to adapt to the more drier weather. So it's super cool plant.
We are for sure.
Thanks for introducing it to me, Wendy, because I like it, of course, because it makes the fruit and you can eat the leaves, which is basically
exactly just year-round food. Yeah.
Oh, so this is another one of those ones where the leaves are edible as well too. Multi-use plant.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Gotta love those. Yeah. All right, John. There's a question here. Cam from your area there in Las Vegas asks, is gypsum the way to go with amending some of the native soil there in Vegas, and what percentage cover tarps do you use to cover? So like a shade cloth type of thing, if you use a shade cloth?
So at present time, I have 0 shade cloth. I have used shade cloth in the past, and I have videos on that on my channel. Basically, I learned that just shade cloth, I mean, it moderates the amount of sun and the temperature so that you can maybe grow things that you wouldn't otherwise be able to grow. So like if you really want to grow tomatoes, you could have better luck because it moderates the temperature and the UV index, but then also it could hurt your production because now you're cutting off the sun. So it's like a pro and a con. So like I put it up for some years, would take it down in the winter because you don't need it. And then I just stopped putting them up. I'm like, I'm not, if I need something to grow, if I need to put a shade cloth up to grow something, I don't need to be growing that. It's just too much work. So that's my opinion on that.
Just
of course,
eliminating the things that would require it.
So like I don't really grow tomatoes. I mean, actually I'm growing there's a burpee or something like the super sweet 150s. They're super sweet 150s this year. It's
what?
Like some
150s now?
Yeah, it's some new
I've got a 100 out there, but I haven't heard of a 150.
It's a new. I could get the tag or whatever, but I bought, and I bought like one at the beginning of the season. It's like, oh, this sounds like a new variety. It's kind of compact, cherry style, super sweet, and it's the one over there. The first one I planted it's super loaded, man. Like so, like I don't need a shade cloth on cherries, but if I want to grow like big tomatoes, then you might need it. But I don't tend to grow tomatoes because I just go to local farm, Gilcrease. And they have shade structures, and they grow giant beefsteaks and Romas and cherry tomatoes also. And if I just get local tomatoes from them, let them deal with all the hard stuff, and I just grow things that are more valuable or I don't need the shade. So, so then shade cloth, I don't have a recommendation. I would recommend watching my video on that because, there's pros and cons. The more shade it is, then maybe the less heat, but then also the more light you're cutting out, and then your plants are going to fruit as much. So it's like a delicate balance. And then I would always recommend getting a good reflective shade cloth because really it's not the sun intensity for the most part. Well, I mean, they could like burn your tomatoes. Like some of my tomatoes here that are just from like volunteers, they're just giant tomatoes that just grew in my flood table, like are getting burned from the sun. Yeah. So it's like, I should probably cover them individually, but like, I don't know. It's like I think the UV is good, but the heat is the issue. We really want to cut down the heat, and that's where the reflective, shade cloth can help. But then make sure you get a good one because I found the cheap ones basically like the reflective coating flake off in your garden, and then now you have plastic in your garden.
Same happened to me.
So it's like, and now I just don't even deal with it. It's just too much hassle to take down, put up, and just I would say use your microclimate. So like what I do now is I just plant in some of the shaded areas, and that's my shade. If I want put something in shade, I put in my shady area. So like my Okinawa and spinach, I planted in my most shaded bed that might get an hour to a sun, but then the rest of the day it's like indirect sun. So then use that to your advantage and plant in areas that are going to get early morning or late afternoon sun, and then be shaded for part of the day to your advantage instead of trying to deal with shade cloth.
Yeah, that's why it's really good to really kind of get out there and kind of study your garden space and your growing space for where the sun comes across and how it's creating shade throughout the day so that, you can utilize those certain places for shade during like the hottest part of the day for a lot of things and keep the, instead of needing the shade cloth. But what do you think about gypsum? Do you use that at all for soil amendment at all?
Yeah, so I mean, I've never bought gypsum to add to my soil here in Vegas. I basically also don't plant in the dirt in Vegas either. So it's like, if you're buying a standard tract house,
soil.
Yeah, if you're buying a standard tract house, you're basically already getting bulldozed soil already. So it's already really degraded. So I like, and we have low organic matter here anyway. So I wouldn't even try to amend the current soil. I would honestly just go to VeraGrow in town and buy soil. And if you want to mix in a percentage of your native soil, 10% into the VeraGrow, which I've done before, because there's been areas I just dig out, I sift out all the rocks into different sizes. So I have like different pots of different rocks to use for drainage or whatever, and then I sifted all the fine stuff out, and then I'll add percentage of my native soil back in the compost that I bought, and then that's what I planted everywhere, you know. So I'm planting in all soil I brought in. I don't even mess with the native soil. I mean, the only thing I mess with the native soil is like I planted trees in ground, you know. Then I would plant that mostly in native soil because that's where they're going to live most of their life. But otherwise, you know, I haven't planted in native soil, and I haven't bought any gypsum myself.
Yeah. How about Wendy? This question here. Let's get this to both of you guys. We'll start with Wendy here. What are the biggest lessons you've learned after growing food for so many years? I mean, you guys have been on several years more than me online, teaching people and showing people how to grow food and all of that. What are some of those lessons that you've learned after growing?
I think, well, for my small space, it's lighting. So that's always been the challenge for me. So I guess the lessons would be to really getting like the proper, like putting the proper plants in the right place, like in the right, you know,
maximizing your space for light.
Yeah, because then it's to the point where is it just growing for novelty, you know, where it's not worth like waiting for the whole, you know, growing season for like that 2 large tomatoes, like John was saying, you know. Something like that, because like the space is precious. You grow, you know, in a small space, but everyone grows it. You only have like the same amount of time to grow it. So finding the right plants for like putting with the right space, right proper lighting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's after seeing, you know, your garden spaces over the years, you've definitely figured it out though too, because the type of space you have that's so confined, you got like this little alleyway, but you grow so much and you're able to accomplish so much in that space. So you've definitely learned quite a bit about that for sure.
Yeah, and you just end up customizing to make certain things work if you really want to grow, you know, that specific types of plants.
Yeah. How about you, John? You've been doing this. I mean, you're one of the OGs, man. Like I was telling everybody earlier, is like I've been watching your videos as long as I've been gardening, basically outside, trying to figure out how to utilize and maximize my own spaces and everything. How long you been doing this now? I mean, I'm going on my 10th year on YouTube this next year. And how long you been out there teaching people how to grow?
On YouTube, I have to look it up, man. I don't even keep track anymore.
Let's see. Oh man, it's got to be. What are we? I mean, if I'm at 10 years, I mean, you've got to be at least almost double that.
As I'm looking it up here.
Yeah.
My first video was released 2009.
2009.
2009 was my first official video on YouTube, you know, where I started basically taking out my lawn and putting in a garden. I mean, I always grew in the periphery and stuff for years before that, but that's when I basically could consider myself a gardening teacher, because I started putting myself out there and sharing content.
Yeah. And it would only be just a year or two later that I discover you as I'm figuring out how to grow a cucumber a friend gave me. And so 2009. So that's puts us at 20 or 17 years.
Yeah, it's been a little bit. So let's see, the lessons I would share. There's been so many, you know, but I mean, probably the most important things I have 2. So one is just grow what's easy, man. So like at least 90% of your effort should be like crops that you could just plant and you know are going to perform well, so that you're not pulling out your hair and getting frustrated and then going to quit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how can you know this? Well, from experience, you know, I know exactly what I plant every year in Vegas, so I'm successful. 90% of what I plant I know is going to do good. And then, of course, 10% is kind of experimental. Like, oh, I'll plant some tomatoes because they're on sale for $1 for the plant at Home Depot. Let's buy 18 of them this year. I mean, if they weren't $1, I wouldn't have bought that many. But they're only $1. They're these 150s that are a new variety, and let's see what the heck they do. Let's plant them
give it a shot,
too
right?
close, let's ignore them.
Some things are just
let's
too
give
interesting.
it a shot. So it's like, and then that way, if you're planting 90% of, it's going to do good, whether it's your experience or whether it's through master gardeners that have already paved the way for you, other gardeners are in your area, or even other farms in your area that plant the same crops every single year. Do those ones as 90%. That way you're going to be successful and grow lots of food. It's like I have green all around me. I have to have green. Like I can't have things empty. If I see space, then I got to fill it with something. If I could get plants, which is a whole nother issue in Vegas. So that's number one. And my tip number two is, I know a lot of people plant new plants and new different kinds of plants, but like I want people to not just grow the plants, but also more importantly, this is why I got into gardening, is eat the plant. So always have a plan for how you're going to use the food you're growing when it is ready to harvest, because that day will come and go before you know it, right? If you're like basil, I planted all different kinds of basil this year. And it's like, all right, my plan for basil is when it's starting to bolt and the flower tips, when their buds just emitting, then I cut them off and I use them in fresh and salads and raw soups. And if they get a bit more mature, then I cut them off. And then I basically blend them into like a watermelon to make a watermelon juice with my basil and mint tops, or mint flowering tops. So that way I could use the different parts of the plants. I mean, I've also had videos where you could make vinegars out of them, and flavor oils with them, preserving oil. You could, dehydrate them, freeze dry them. But I want people to be able to actually have something to do, have a method or a plan to do with what they're growing, so that they actually eat more of it. And then, of course, every day when you're creating your meals for the day, go out to your garden first and harvest a bunch of stuff that you will use for breakfast, that you will use in your lunch, and that you will use in your dinner, whether it's just a garnish of the tomatoes, or whether it's tomatoes you're cutting up, putting in your plant-based burger or your animal-based burger, or making a side salad, making a full salad, whether it's zucchinis you're shredding up and then making the pastas instead of buying wheat pasta, and blending up your tomatoes with sun-dried tomatoes that you've done from the previous year in the blender with some dates to have, and some Italian seasoning and some basil to have like a nice pesto for that. Have a plan so that you could actually utilize more of the food you're growing instead of eating from the grocery store, because that is been all of our default methods of where we get our food from. And when we are successful gardeners, then we need to basically utilize more of the food that we're growing first, and then using the supermarket as a fill-in instead.
Yeah. And then, again, too, if we're out growing for food, it just makes a lot of sense to be really intentional about it. Like you're saying, grow the things you're going to eat, and then have a plan for what you're going to do with those when you get them harvested from your garden space, because that really is the intention of the garden space anyways, right? We want to grow these more nutritious foods and things that we can get or that we can't get sometimes from the grocery store, which I think is great about both of your gardens. I think that's one of the fun things about following along with what you guys have growing over on your channels, is that you're always growing something new and interesting and different that folks wouldn't necessarily find within their their supermarkets and things when they're out shopping for things. So, I mean, again, your garden space is a great opportunity for that as well, too, to grow some new, unique things.
Yeah, I'm constantly growing new, unique things.
Yeah.
But I want to touch on, like, actually an even bigger lesson I just thought of for me is that I'm still learning right now, is to make decisions. Like, I've taken so long trying to decide where things would go, because I want that perfect space. I want to just not just create like a space that I'll be happy with, but then I want to create this like a feeling, like say like an aquatic looking feeling. So like, what kind of edible plants ideally, that would fit in this sort of an emotion that I'm trying to evoke, and like just thinking about the possibility of where I can fit certain plants. It just takes so long sometimes. So the season is already gone.
Right.
And at the end, I'm like, you should have just at least, doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be perfect. You just plant it somewhere and see what happens. At least, hey, if you end up with 2 tomatoes, at least that's better than like none,
Right.
Or a poor plant that's like dying because it never got a chance to transplant.
Yeah, I think myself as well too. I still got things that aren't going to find a space in the garden space, probably because I haven't been as intentional with getting them out into where exactly I would like that. Where is this going to fit in to everything else? And then it actually doesn't fit in because I haven't made that decision, and I need to make that decision in my garden plan a lot earlier.
Yeah, I've been trying to tell myself like, it doesn't matter. It's like you can always try again because I feel like the pressure of thinking of you're missing this opportunity and it's gonna be you put it in the wrong spot. There goes the year, or there goes 6 months or the year, you know. But when you don't make a decision,
then there goes the whole thing altogether.
Exactly, definitely zero chance. Like
When you got a solution, so plant it wherever, and then do cuttings so that the next time you could plant it somewhere else.
Okay.
Just kind of move it along. Just move it along.
If you like it, you want more.
Until you find the right spot, right? And then just kind of get rid of the ones behind it. Or buy 2 plants
or 3 plants instead of 1 when you buy them at the first place, and plant them in different spots. That's another thing I do all the time.
Yeah, but there's so many different things I want.
Oh yeah, that's right. You have less space.
Yeah, so
even
it's
less
only
space
like
than
1 or 2.
Well, you got.
Yes. Well, I started
your roof, man. Your roof still has tons of space.
I do. I'm gonna do more planting up there and the parkway.
Yeah, I was gonna ask about that.
I got some squashes and eggplants and different things.
So you're stretching out onto the parkway now.
Yes.
Yeah. See, I love it. Again, too. We can't help ourselves. We can't help ourselves.
Rooftop.
Yeah.
Make use of it. And I think people enjoy walking around and seeing, the garden, and there's just so much more. It's like planting in the ground. It's going to be a lot more prolific than in containers. Like on the rooftop is like a place, but like planting in ground, and it's such a difference. Yeah. So.
If you got the space and opportunity to get it in the ground, you got to take that opportunity for sure. And around my place too, I've only got a few select places where I can do that, and then it's raised beds and containers and all that stuff after that for sure. So I was going to ask you guys here as we're moving along here before we get going, but are either of you planning on making your way out to Missouri this fall? I know it's coming up here real soon. They're doing the Heirloom Exposition out there this year. Are you going to make it to that this year?
Thinking about it. Always love to.
Thinking about it? Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you, John? Have they asked you to come out and speak for the Heirloom Exposition there?
They haven't yet, but I'd love to go out there and speak.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
we'll have to get that going. I know. I'm like, I don't know. I haven't had a chance to get off the West Coast for a while, and I was like, I need to get out and go see this because they're going to be bringing it back now, but now at the farm. And you guys have both been there to the farm before, so I'm like, I got to get out there and check it out for the first time. And it'd be great to, kind of see what they do with the Heirloom Exposition from there versus what they were doing in California.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully it's as big and not just their harvest festival that's renamed Heirloom, but they're really taking it up a couple notches to like what it was in the past. So I don't know what they're doing. I haven't really been keeping up to date with that, but hopefully it'll be good.
Yeah, I mean, even last year's, like They definitely said has been much bigger than their other festivals, like, in Missouri. So, the displays are much bigger, and there's still people coming from different places. Like, I brought like a small display of things too, in my luggage, and I brought it there last year. So, yeah, it's not just things from their farm. I think majority are, but there's definitely different people, and also like the seed growers, the seed farmers.
Yeah.
Also bring in their seeds for display out there. Very cool.
Yeah, that would be fun. So hopefully they'll send you out an invite and have you guys out there too. And hopefully I can get myself out there too. So I wanted to make sure I was asking you about that before I let you go there. But real quick here, let me ask one more question for both of you guys here real quick, and then we'll let you go, Wendy. I know you got to get moving on here.
Farmers market. Stone fruits are in season.
What's
you haven't been to the farmer's market yet, Wendy? You didn't wake up early? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I was doing some other things. Yeah.
That's what we need is a good farmer's market video.
Also, sometimes the last the ends of it, you get the deals too.
Mm-hmm.
They love stuffing all these overripe things that people don't want.
Oh yeah. All right, real quick here. Jay was also asking, what keeps you passionate after all these years? You've again been out doing and growing on YouTube and sharing with people and teaching people all these years now about your garden spaces and all of that. What keeps you going after all of these years, Wendy?
So many reasons. I guess curiosity is a big one because
Staying curious.
It's always fun to try and like see new beautiful plants, taste them, different ones, really weird, funky. Like there's just so much to offer from leaves to flowers to really cool seed pods, to fruits. Fragrant, the aromatics of like walking through a garden, it makes you feel great, right? It cheers you up. It's the whole experience and seeing, I guess, the joy people walk in and say like, oh, the garden looks like going walking through like an exhibition, or because they haven't seen any of the things I'm growing. The act of it is fun, and it's exercise, it's therapeutic, right? What else? It's nature. It's also preserving genetics and food for the wildlife. Like so many reasons. Used to be for also my dog to enjoy, a garden, a place for us. So many reasons. Yeah.
How about you, John? Again, 17 years of filming garden spaces and growing and all the great adventures you've got to be on over these years and everything. What keeps you moving and motivated?
I mean, I think the biggest thing for me is I see a need, I see a need with more and more people eating fast food, more and more people getting dependent on the grocery stores, more and more food prices going more expensive, food quality, of course, in the produce industry and other prepackaged, prepared food industries, prices go up, quality goes down, and that people really need this information that I've learned and that I could share with people. And, I hope that more people find me and more people start growing in the future, because this is really the way we're going to make a difference in America today, by getting people to eat real food and waking up and getting off all the junk food, processed food that like seriously controls your mind.
Yeah.
And so that keeps me motivated. One thing. The other thing, of course, is when I find new, types of foods, plants, and things that I was not aware about, or even new techniques that I get to learn about, that then I get excited and share with people. So I was just in Florida. The video I put out yesterday was I visited a lady. I just met her at one of the mango festivals, and she told me how she just grows, basically like edible plants, vegetables, perennial vegetables in a container in her house. Has like 200 containers. So she has a container garden because she doesn't really even have an outside garden because iguanas eat everything. And then how she like basically will propagate all these perennial edibles and give them to people in the local area and teach gardening classes. So I visited her, and then come to find out she has like a worm bin, which is basically her compost tumbler that basically she just takes like frozen water bottles, puts in there to keep the worms cool. And I'm
I was just noticing that video. I was just noticing that video. I was like, I got to check that one out.
And then you could like refreeze it every day and put it in the overnight, and then put in the morning. And I mean, I've been to Phoenix and people put ice blocks in the worm bin to kind of hydrate it and keep it cool. But I'm like, whoa, frozen water bottles. Who would ever thought? And it's like, I still find
that way you're not having to like soak your worm bin, right?
Smart.
Right. Yeah. With extra water, which then they don't like extra water. But in Phoenix, maybe it would also evaporate out because it's so dry. But, so I don't know, like all these just little techniques that I visit people and learn, it gets me re-excited and reinvigorated about gardening, and like, hey, this one technique could help somebody keep worms and they can make their own fertilizer, right? If it helped this lady, I'm going to probably use that technique in Puerto Rico because we kind of need that, do that in Puerto Rico because it's so hot. But it's like, what if it helps somebody else, and then it's like, then I think about how many other people can I help with what I've learned and what I could share with others, and how can I enrich other people's lives and give back to the world and make the world a better place and the earth a better place by having more people grow food in the organic methods without using all these chemicals, right? And like, you know, what positive change can I be in the world? I mean, I think is really what it comes down to for me. You know, be the change you want to see in the world. You know, and that's what I try to live every day, and try to, you know, be a good person and do that.
Yeah. Same mission as day one, pretty much. You know, I remember all those early videos. It was it was the same sort of passion and mission and that sort of thing, is to, you know, teach and show people what they can do with their garden spaces in growing their own food, and how kind of really important it is too, in a way, to be able to grow more nutritious food than what we're going to get out of the grocery store, you know, and also variations and varieties and all these new things over the years we've gotten to learn that you know, that you've shown us how to grow too. So it's really good to see that the passion hasn't changed, and it just continues to drive you forward, you know, as you keep you know, keep growing along. So that's really awesome. Anything, John, you want to ask Wendy real quick before we let her go? She's a
I can't think of it.
Put you on the spot. Anyways, Wendy, how is the garden growing anyways this year? Everything coming along really well? Anything surprising you new or anything like that you weren't expecting?
Yeah, well, the squashes and the parkway is a volunteer because I've been cooking a lot of kombucha squashes over the season, like the cooler season, and spaghetti squash. So those came out as volunteer. Like, okay, I mean that's awesome, right? But at the same time, I don't have that much space. All like great. So I guess I can't start some seeds, you know, of the ones I really want.
Yeah.
But it's awesome because they're growing and we're protecting them and trying to support them. So different things growing, you know. What is it? Yeah, and I want to go try and get some medium-sized tomatoes this year, so we'll see how that goes. So it's some Russian varieties I've always wanted to grow, you know, because they take a little less. They don't require as much sun. So I'm testing out a few of those plants, John. A few of one type.
Just a few.
Just a few. That's way more. It's like 1 to 2. If it's like one of each is all the room I have or don't have, but try to make room for. And 2 would be like if I really like the plant, you know. But I got 3 of those.
Right on.
And making more space out there. I think there's some unused space right now because I couldn't decide what's like the perfect plan for it. So and then I'm attempting to grow like the largest loofah ever in my life.
Loofah, huh?
We'll see how that goes.
Yeah. You got one already. You got a potential out there already.
No, I'm trying actually starting to grow it later, and I'm growing some of it, a few of them in my friend's place because they have. So I got a little plot of land on there.
Use your friend's spaces too. Exactly. There you go. That's right.
Yeah, not too far away, so I think it all works out perfectly. I gotta go check on them. Actually. Soon. Yeah.
Well, we'll go ahead and let you go for today, so you can go out there and check on that loofah and all of that. But it was really awesome of you to jump on for a few minutes here and hang out with us here. I thought it'd be
it's always fun.
Yeah. That's right. Oh,
the gardening gang.
The garden gang. That's right.
I kind of like that name.
Yeah. Again, too. Hopefully, we'll get a chance to get together there. So maybe we'll meet up in Missouri later this year or something.
Yeah.
Or somewhere else at some point in time. But it's always great to get you on the show here with us. And thanks for joining in on this conversation for a few minutes today, Wendy. It's really awesome.
Yeah. John, are you coming out to LA anytime? You traveling a lot.
I was supposed to be there this weekend, but it didn't happen. I was traveling too much, and I need to get plant starts in LA, but hopefully soon. I need to get out there soon. I got still beds that are empty that I need plant starts for from LA because I can't get them here, and I already drove to Utah and got the best stuff they had up there.
So there you go. Next time you're over in LA, you guys will have to hook up and go and check out a farmer's market or something and see what's out there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, lots of fruits in season now.
Awesome. Well, thanks again, Wendy. we'll catch up with you real soon
you.
here, and hopefully get you back on the show here down the road here coming up. I don't know how close we are to 300 yet, but it's got to be down the road.
Wow, that's so much work, Enoch. Kudos.
Yeah, I know, for sure.
And your loyal view subscribers.
Right on. Excellent, Wendy. Thank you so much. You have a great day.
Bye, John. See you, Enoch.
Bye-bye.
Have a good weekend.
You too.
Right on. Excellent. How fun was that? Get her on for just a few minutes. She sent me a message yesterday and was like, I got about a half an hour. I was like, oh, that's cool. We'll pop you in for a few minutes. So right on. We got a couple more questions here, John, for you real quick here.
All right,
before
great.
we let you
Couple
go
more.
here today as well here. Let's get one, or let's see if we can get one in at least here before we let you out of here. We had one in from just a little bit ago. Oh yeah, that's right. MKP was asking, John, I am in zone 7B, bought moringa plant, which later died. The seeds will not germinate for me. Wonder if it's too hot or humid to grow here. What's some, I know you've grown moringa before, right? You got any tips on growing some moringa in the hot and humid? Don't they like it nice and hot?
Right.
I think they grow better in those
Right
regions, don't they?
My moringa right here.
Oh yeah, there you are.
Yeah, so hot and humid is not the issue with your moringa. So let's see, moringa plant, which didn't make it. So they don't like overwater, actually. They prefer probably a bit underwater. They're like, like from India and stuff, and they have deep tap roots. So if you bought a plant, I would say, the hot and humid is no problem, because I grow them in Puerto Rico. It's hot and humid every single day. And it doesn't even get watered, and the trees go crazy. They're like, I planted them like my first trip, and now they're the tallest trees that I'm growing, and I need to probably chop them in half, and then you could do cuttings. Which, if you're buying plants, make sure they're not cuttings, because then they have a funky root system. You want to get always moringa from the root. So I visited the moringa farm in January, and I brought back they basically, to ship them now, they basically harvest the root, and then they chop off the tree at the top, and then the root stays alive, and then you plant the root ball with a little bit of stick sticking up, and then they basically reshoot. So the one I just showed you is one that I totally neglected. It stayed in the bag, the root alone, bare rooted with the top cut off, and then I planted it, and then it kept growing, and then I replanted it. So if you're
does it kind of branch out? Or is it just a single?
Yeah. It sends a new shoot. It sends a new shoot out from the main stem if the root is hardy enough. Because it's and then in the video I visited them, I show what he would ship out to people. I also ate one. It tastes like horseradish. It's really good to eat moringa. But if the plant didn't make it, likely maybe you were overwatering it. I don't know. You need to kind of ignore them a little bit. Actually, they do a little bit better if you ignore them. Don't give them too much water. Don't baby them too much. Mm-hmm. They don't like it too cold. So below, I would say below 60, then you might want to even grow it inside until it gets warm for the summertime, because you're zone 7B. Then you want to have it in a pot. You want to have a pot, grow it outside. It could handle 100 degrees in Vegas, full sun, no problem. It cannot under 60, it'll start defoliating. The leaves will get yellow. It's really not used to that. And then to germinate seeds, it's very important to germinate seeds. It stays on a heat mat. So I've only had luck germinating seeds when it's in peat on a heat mat with the humidity dome over it. So I basically started in a whole flat with a dome in basically a jiffy mix, peat mix, and then start the seeds. Keep it really moist. It can't, when you're sprouting them, the soil can't dry out. Got to stay moist. Got to have nice humidity and heat on it to get them to germinate. That's what I found works the best. And then maybe seeds could be old.
That's what I was going to wonder too.
For the first time in Vegas here, my trees are producing the seeds because we didn't get too cold over the winter, so the trees stayed alive instead of defoliating. And then basically went the flower and then seed. So now I was able to eat young baby tender seed pods, which is really kind of fun. They're really nice to eat. And then a lot of the seed pods I'm letting basically get mature and create seeds. So I'll Vegas grown seeds from my moringa, which is probably extremely rare. But of course I have moringa seeds from my Puerto Rico property also that has been producing for a while. So
nice. Yeah. That's probably it though, is keeping it, like you say, and keeping it nice and warm. Like you said, the humidity dome to help keep and hold some of that moisture within the peat, like you're saying, in order to ensure that they just got nice warm conditions that they would be used to growing in. And give that a shot. Hopefully that'll
in the tropics.
work out.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, one last quick question here. Cam down in Vegas is also asking, how horrible is our water in Las Vegas? Do you use filtration systems?
I mean, depends on what you mean by horrible. I mean, horrible. Right. So, I mean, there's things they add to the water, which I think are not optimal. And then there's things that are naturally occurring in the water. So there's chlorine added and fluoride added, which, definitely the chlorine is not good for the plants or the bacteria. Yeah. So I do recommend at least a Boogie Blue water filter, their Plus model. I mean, that's the simple one. Of course, you can get a more detailed filter of a whole house water filtration system that has carbon and KDF. But at least minimally for your garden, a good hose end filter, and change it like once a year. And that would take out the chlorine, which is the worst. The fluoride is not it's bad for us to drink it. But for the garden, I would say, probably not the worst thing. And you could worry about filtering out, but then it's not really worth it. Too much time and effort and filtration needed to filter out fluoride. That's probably not going to have a significant impact in your garden. And then the other issue with the water in Vegas is the hardness. So, I mean, that could be an issue. For the irrigation emitters and getting this white kind of calcium sediment film stuff on it. So they have water softeners, which you shouldn't be using a water softener and then putting that in your garden because they're basically salt softeners and they're salting the water. So I have some kind of magnetic system that uses magnets that try to bust up that stuff. And I don't know. I mean, maybe it kind of works, maybe it doesn't. But I think it does make a difference. So, I mean, I would recommend at least that because that's a one-time investment. And then if it does actually kind of break some of that stuff up and, not clog up your appliances in your house or your irrigation, could be worth it. I would also encourage people to catch rainwater. I do catch some rainwater and water plants with that in buckets. I need to have probably a proper rain catchment system because rain is the best resource, best thing to water our plants with. But in Vegas, I think last year we got 5 inches of rain. So it's to invest in a lot of money to get a rain catchment system. When we get 5 inches of rain a year, it's maybe not the best way to spend money because we don't get a ton of rain. Most of my pots actually are it falls off the roof and then right into my pots where they need to go anyways. But
I need a good size system to really be able to catch enough rain in the right season to hold it for the time that I need it during my summertime as well too. So that is a big thing, but it's good to have. Right on. Well,
I would recommend a filter, in the end, in Vegas. Definitely you should at least filter out the chlorine minimally.
Yeah, go check out Boogie Brew. I think we got a link in
Boogie
the
Brew
chat
filter,
there.
the Boogie Blue filter. If you just want the easy one, but if you want a more hardcore one, I would recommend getting a Big Blue 20-inch filter, a dual setup with a sediment, and then you could get a carbon KDF block for the second level for your garden and even for your home.
Yeah. I was gonna say too, as I was chatting with you before getting you on the show too, is we gotta get you and Josh together too. Josh from Boogie Brew on the show sometime and have a fun conversation with him. We'll have to work that down the road. But anyways, thank you again for, coming on and jumping on here and hanging out in the nice hot weather in your backyard there and talking all about what you got growing on over there and giving us some tips on growing in the heat and all of that. And also thanks to Wendy as well, too, for jumping in for a few minutes there. It's always fun to see her and see what's going on and everything. But really appreciate you coming and hanging out with us here on the Let's Get Growing show, John. It's always great to have you here for the conversation. And everybody else, definitely check out the links down below and go check out Growing Your Greens and go subscribe. If you haven't subscribed yet, John's almost at 1 million. Someday we're going to see that 1 million hit. Can't wait to see you get that plaque, man. That'd be something else.
Yeah, finally.
If anybody on YouTube from the OG gardening generation who deserves a good million plaque, it's John Kohler. So again, hopefully that comes up real soon too as well. But it's always great to have you, my friend, here on the show and hanging out with me, man. I appreciate it.
All right. Yeah, thanks for having me, Enoch.
You got it. We'll catch you next time.
All right, man. Peace out.
You
Everyone
got
have a
it.
good day. Bye-bye.
All right. There we go. What a fun, awesome conversation with John Kohler from Growing Your Greens. And as I mentioned, too, check out the link down below. Go over, subscribe, go over and check out one of his videos and let him know. Jump in one of those comment sections. Let him know you saw him here on the Let's Get Growing show, as well as go check out Wendy Fan over at wendyland.com, Wendyland on YouTube, and go and check out some of her shorts. She's got shorts coming out right now, but hopefully some new videos as well too. Can't say too much about the videos as well because I got to make some myself. And as I mentioned to everybody, I'm going to get out and I'm going to go work on a nice little fun garden tour video for all of us here on the Urban Gardener channel and show you what we've got growing on around here in our gardens. And also too, as I mentioned just a little bit earlier too as well, we will have our on our third Sunday coming up here in July, we'll have our monthly gardening book club coming up with our good friend Mr. MBC. He'll be here next Sunday for In the Garden, but live in the garden for our book club. And this month we're featuring Mark Valencia's 100 Top Crops. That's right, Mark Valencia from Self-Sufficient Me, one of the biggest, largest gardening channels on YouTube. It's always so awesome to see Mark here on the show, just like my good friend John and all of that too as well. It's so awesome that these guys help support us and show up and join with us here too. So it's gonna be fun to catch up with Mark here coming up here in just a couple of weeks and talk all about his very first book, 100 Top Crops. So don't miss that episode coming up. And next week, we'll be back here next week. We've got a great new guest to the show, a couple of new guests to the show next week. We'll be joined with Farm Boy James Weston's going to come join with us. James does a bit of chaos gardening, and what I really want to talk to him about is his community compost program. James puts on a really cool community compost program. We'll talk to him all about those things as well. We'll have Hippie Chick Homestead joining us for Are You Following Me next Saturday on the show. Looking, we got some great guests coming up. And Sunday, I don't know who's going to be here. We'll see. I've got a couple of ideas. We've got a couple of things possibly happening. So we'll see. We'll see what we get next Sunday on the show. But we'll have something here. We'll be here for sure, chatting with somebody right here on the show. Like I always say, we'll be here every Saturday and Sunday, 11 a.m. Pacific time, 2 p.m. Eastern. So definitely share with all of your garden friends and let them know that we'll be here talking again with James next week. We'll have a great guest on Sunday for the Sunday edition. And if you can, before you all head out, hit that like button, hit the thumbs up, subscribe, bell notification to be notified of all of these upcoming shows here on the Urban Gardener channel. And let's see here. Oh no, what's happening here? We're having a media. Oh no, what's going on? I think StreamYard's giving me a little bit of an issue here. It's gonna mess with my. Oh no, what's happening? Anyways, I guess I'm just gonna have to leave you guys. I don't know what it's doing to me here. I can't get it set. But anyways, I guess I'm just gonna have to drop out today. No outro for today, because StreamYard seems to be giving me some sort of issue with my videos right now. But anyways, it's been really great to have you all here with me and everybody else. Really awesome to see you. And I really look forward to seeing all of you next Saturday on the show. And we'll see all of you then.